Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Welcome to Tyler Today News. I am joined, of course, by the one, the only, the TJ 2.0, because I am also technically TJ when I claim to be, when I want to be, But hello, TJ. I hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, kicking off day 2 of my 4-day weekend, so excited to be here. Excited to dive into what we got on deck.
Hell yeah. We got some clips we'll be reacting to, some news and stuff like that. Bungie's got a new game. There was that firebombing in Pennsylvania at the governor's residence. There was the story revolving around the stabbing that took place in Texas that everyone's talking about, and then some other clips we'll be going over. So I hope everyone in chat is doing great. Hello, everyone. The Chicken Captain. Good afternoon, folks. I have not seen the Chicken Captain before. Hello, Chicken Captain. A new face around here. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing good, and let's just go ahead and we'll just jump right into the news. You know what I'm saying, TJ? You know what I'm saying?
Do it live? Are we gonna do it live? Let's go.
Do it live. Just fucking do it live. Anyway,
let's get it.
Let's talk about the story from El Salvador, because this is still ongoing.
Right.
So there was that guy that got deported back to El Salvador, and he was a gang member. And people are complaining because they're like, oh, you don't know if he was actually a gang member or not. He didn't have a trial, blah, blah, blah. A lot more information has come out since then. And essentially, this guy was a known gang member. And the president himself of El Salvador, President Bukele, he has come out and said that he will not be returning the prisoner. So we cannot force a foreign government to hand over one of their citizens. That's not how that works.
Unless there's a crime that they're being charged
unless for. Unless they need to be extradited, but not. This is not an extradition. This is not bring him back here so we can charge him. This is bring him back here because we messed up. So no, that's not how that works. If he's a criminal, he's committed crimes in his home country. He's a citizen of that country, and then we send him back, and then we're like, oops, bring him back. The government of that place is gonna be like, no, he's our citizen. He's going to go to prison.
Yeah.
So let's play this clip because it's quite funny. Breaking. Wait, let me put it. There we go.
Quick question. What is he going to prison for in his own country? What is the crime that he's being charged with there?
A gang member.
Yeah. Okay.
In El Salvador, if you have gang-related tattoos, you get life in prison.
Gotcha. And
he has gang tattoos. And as far as the intelligence community is concerned, he is still a gang member. It looks like chats might not be working on Rumble. I'll have to monitor it on the actual page. Okay. But hello, Shitty Gov. I see your flags. Chicken Captain, howdy. Good afternoon, folks. Back in Blanco's here. I was wondering what the fuck happened. I started 30 minutes late today. Okay, guys, sorry. Normally I will do the hour and a half show. There's just not a stupid amount of news today. I feel like we can get through it in an hour. And I also have IBS. I was stuck in the bathroom. My apologies. I was almost late to even my 30-minute mark. So I'm doing my best here today, guys. I'm sorry. And TJ might have to take the reins at some point if I feel the need to use the restroom again.
But on my last name?
What?
Reigns is my last name, so if I have to take the reins, there's a pun in there.
Yeah, you take the reins, I'll go get the runs. There you go,
news. What's up with this clip?
You asked for it. Don't shake your head. You asked for it.
That's fair.
All right, let's see this clip. So, the president of El Salvador just said he will not be returning Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States. Bukele is a rock star for this. CNN's Caitlin Collins, do you plan to return him? Bukele, I suppose you're not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States. How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him to the United States? Or what do I do? Of course I'm not going to do that.
Right. Like, there's a level of... the Biden administration was, trafficking illegal immigrants all over the country. And if we do this, I feel like it's
you're no better.
Yeah.
But there's some nuance to that, but I don't know who this guy in the bottom right is. Is this someone reacting to the video? Or is this a picture of the guy that got deported?
Well, I'm supposed to be suggesting that
I'm assuming it's
a terrorist into the United States, right? How can I smuggle How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States. Inside El Salvador. Yeah, but I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? And that's not going to happen.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal, released into our country.
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people. Mark, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I mean, Steve, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that was great. I haven't seen the whole clip. He's like, yeah, these are sick people.
So I like how what's the guy's name? Who's right
This
here?
is the president of El Salvador,
Yeah. What's his name?
Bukele.
Bukele. Okay. First off, I like his. You can tell that there's like a level of like logic and just like actual intellect instead of the crazy sporadic talking points. Like he's calling them out on like this contradiction, and it's like, I don't know. I respect his posture in making his statements, but I find it interesting that he's immediately calling the prisoner. He's calling him a terrorist. And
that's how he refers to all of the gang members in his country. He refers to them as terrorists. Right,
which I mean, plus we've declared MS-13 to be a terrorist organization or something.
Right. So I'm pretty sure.
But it's interesting to,
no, but I love to see it because
coming from him,
Well, because even on Saturday, I was talking about how we need to stop using the left's language. We need to set the narrative, and this is exactly how you set the narrative. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna release this guy that was here legally in the United States," and he hits back with, "No, I'm not releasing a terrorist into the United States. We need to control the narrative. We do not need to allow them to control the narrative."
Right, and I respect him for the way he's going about it like that.
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to share this clip because I just thought it was hilarious. Again, half the clips today, or half of what I'm talking about today, guys, are like clips that we're going to be reacting to because there is a decent amount of news, like big stuff, but there's some clips that I felt like were important to react to, like this one. So this one's almost over. Let's see what they say in the next half.
This individual is a citizen of El Salvador. He was illegally in the United States and was returned to his country. That's where you deport people, back to their country of origin. Except for Venezuela, that wasn't refusing to take people back, or places like that. I can tell you this, Mr. President. No, the foreign policy of the United States is conducted by the President of the United States, not by a court. And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple. End of story.
And that's what the Supreme Court held, by the way, to Marco's point. The Supreme Court said exactly what Marco said, that no court has the authority to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. We won a case 9-0, and people like CNN are portraying it as a loss, as usual, because they want foreign terrorists in the country who kidnap women and children. But President Trump, his policy is foreign terrorists that are here illegally get expelled from the country, which, by the way, is a 90-10 issue.
Again, another 70-30, 80-20, 90-10 issue, right? I like how the number keeps getting smaller and smaller. Because, like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how it's 70-30 issues, and then the past couple of weeks, it was 80-20 issues. Now they're picking 90-10 issues. It's just, I don't know. I find it a little bit funny. Mad Stork said, "You will be in our story. You are not the main character, Bish, Tyler," or something like that. What? Yeah. Thanks, Stork. But no, I thought that clip was funny because it's like, yeah, what do you want the El Salvadorian president to do? Like, you literally want him to release a gang member? How's that gonna look to his country? And then even besides that, El Salvador just a few years ago, not that long ago, was the murder capital of the world. He was right about that when he said that. They were the murder capital of the world. They were having 1 to 3 murders every hour. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And El Salvador is not like a massive country like the United States. So to have 1 to 3 murders an hour is insane. So they've done a massive turnaround. They are now, like he said, one of the safest places to go and visit in the world. That's remarkable. Yeah, no, it's remarkable. But I mean, that's what happens when you let things get out of hand. You got to come in with a heavy hand. and the president of El Salvador has come on a little heavy. I mean, every single person with a tattoo has been arrested related to gang affiliation. It doesn't matter if you're in the gang or not anymore. You still got that tattoo. They pulled you in. And it's rough, but that's what they had to do to fix their country. So, it is what it is. Do you have any final thoughts before we move to the next?
I am wondering if there has been any precedents set for something like this for, outside of extradition. Has there been anybody who has been, court ordered to come into the United States? I doubt it, but just
no, because again, this is a unique case that we're not talking about extraditing someone. We're talking about allowing a criminal non-citizen back into the country.
Well, even let's say for hypothetical sake that they aren't a criminal, but that for some reason they're being ordered by a court to come into the country. Like, it probably hasn't happened in this way because
I was gonna say, I don't think there's any precedent for this.
Right. So it's just a completely
this is a
constitutional crisis now, right?
Well, the constitutional crisis is these lower courts thinking they could dictate foreign policy, which is completely unconstitutional. But anyway, so got some more stories to get into. I want to talk about, let's see. So a lot of people are talking about ADHD right now, I guess. So let's pull this up. What are your thoughts about ADHD?
I think it's a superpower, and it just needs to be utilized correctly.
But what if it doesn't exist?
Do
you think it doesn't exist?
I think that it doesn't exist in the medical sense of a debilitating disease. I think it does exist as a personality trait that benefits some scenarios and is a detriment to other scenarios.
So the conversation going around right now is that ADHD is actually fake and it doesn't exist. So ADHD debate intensifies over diagnosis and medical medication in schools. A significant discussion has emerged online regarding the diagnosis and treatment of ADHD, particularly among boys in the 1990s. Social media posts highlight concerns about overdiagnosis and the routine use of stimulants like Adderall, questioning the medical community's approach to ADHD. This debate has been fueled by a recent New York Times article that some interpret as acknowledging ADHD might not always be a disorder requiring medication. There is a divide between those who view ADHD medications as necessary for managing symptoms versus those who see an overreach or misdiagnosis in many cases. So there was a study I read about over the weekend talking about how things like Adderall and there was one other medication for ADHD, Ritalin, I think. They'll actually stunt your growth.
Sure.
Which, I mean, yeah, that sounds like a side effect that would happen.
Yeah, I can believe that's a side effect.
But like you have tweets like this from Matt Walsh. ADHD is one of the greatest scams in modern history. Millions of kids have been given mind-altering drugs on the basis of a lie. Now, after decades and after shouting down and defaming those who knew better, they'd finally starting to admit it. It's infuriating. So Matt Walsh's whole point, the stuff that he's been saying is, I have 4 boys. You think I don't know what it's like to raise kids with ADHD symptoms? At least 2 could very easily be diagnosed. But my kids' doctors know they'll put them on ADHD meds over my dead body. It's a non-starter, never going to happen under no circumstance. Right, I have ADHD, but I've never taken medication for it. I've always denied it. When I went to therapy when I was younger, I also got tested for ADHD. The test came back positive, and I told them that I was like, I just wanted to know. I don't want any medication.
Sure. Yeah. I think that so. There's 2 separate things here. There's 1, does ADHD exist, and there's 2, has there been an overprescribing of medications for it?
Yeah, but there's an overprescribing of medications for all diseases right now.
Sure, I wouldn't deny that. But I'm just saying that, there are 2 different roads to go down when bringing up this topic, and to combine the 2, and jump back and forth between the 2 kind of takes away from breaking down what's really at the core of the argument. I think Matt Walsh, his argument seems to be more on the negative effects of these medications and not necessarily that that it's being overdiagnosed. Does that make sense? And so,
No, his point is that it doesn't even exist.
well, he just said that he has two kids that
He
could.
said, yeah, he's saying that he has two kids that
diagnose.
could be diagnosed as having ADHD, but it
So
doesn't
then,
mean they do.
what do you call the personality traits that these two kids have, if not ADHD? Like, should we use a different term because ADHD is associated with needing this medication or what have you? Like,
I mean, that's a good point. What do you call it at that point, right?
yeah,
If it's not
hyperfixation
ADHD,
on, like, should we call it hyperfixation on things of interest and complete disinterest or complete lack of motivation for things that are disinteresting? Like, what term?
oh, so here they're having a lively discussion in the chat. It looks like, okay, you guys were talking about El Salvador. Let's see. TJ returns. Oh, it exists. ADHD is real. I think it's fake. Joey says I think it's fake. But it does also know one thing. It's not one thing. Personality traits and differences aren't mental illnesses. I don't think we're saying ADHD is a mental illness. I would more lean towards what TJ's saying and say that it's it's part of your personality.
Well, so is ADHD technically a like?
It's technically a mental disorder.
Well, no, is it technically like part of the autism spectrum?
Oh, yeah, I believe so.
Right, and so like I feel like we could also bring in the concept.
Hang on, Joey, I didn't read all of it yet.
I feel like we could bring in the autism spectrum into this conversation as well. You know, what
ADHD
I mean?
is an excuse that people use to avoid accountability. Then there are behavioral things reinforced. I'm reading multiple statements from multiple people, by the way. I'm just not reading the names. You notice how the left does this. They take the small, tiny percentage of people that have legit issues and make it seem like others have undiagnosed issues. Are you telling me that 0.018% of the population isn't enough to entirely recreate society into a Marxist paradise? What the hell, man? Call that behavior being a boy. Yeah, lol, left always hijacks the exception to the rule to make it seem like the rule plus 2, like 2 plus 2 equals 5. Again, TJ, ADHD isn't one thing, kind of like autism. Well, yeah, that's what we're saying. Like ADHD would be on a spectrum. Like you have degrees of ADHD, just like you'd have degrees of autism.
So have you heard the theory?
Wait. ADHD isn't on the TISM spectrum. They are separated things. However, they have some crossover. See, that's why I thought they were what's called. A lot of people that have ADHD also have a bit of autism. That's why I was maybe that's where the confusion is, because there's some crossover. The chat is blowing up. I'm sorry, TJ. Hang on, just a few more. The left always makes categorical mishaps to trick people, adjusting language, putting things in wrong categories. Men have interest in things, so us focusing on it, evolutionary. It is evolutionary. It seems like they are constantly making every male trait is a mental disorder. There was one philosophy, I forgot his I'm assuming you meant philosopher. I forgot his name, that believes most issues in life come from categorical misplacements. Maybe.
Interesting.
So my thoughts, because I actually do have ADHD. It basically just makes it to where I, like TJ was saying, I hyper focus on things. Certain things I get bored way too easily. Just like the generic ADHD things. I, for the life of me, can't fucking read if someone's having a conversation. It triggers the shit out of me, because I used to have to like ask my teacher if I could put my earbuds in, and then I would play like Mozart or something in the background just so I couldn't hear fucking people talking while I read.
Easily distracted like that, yeah.
I was so easily distracted. People having literally, it'd be a conversation that I couldn't give less of a fuck about, and I couldn't stop listening to it instead of reading. Like my brain just wouldn't let me.
So, have you heard the concept that ADHD is an evolutionary trait? Because
that's what someone in the chat mentioned. I think Joey.
Yeah, the Chicken Captain sort of mentioned it. But
Chicken Captain.
It's the concept that like back when we were like hunters and gatherers and whatnot, you had to be able to hyper fixate on, you know, your surroundings while you're out on the hunt or something like that, and you have to be able to hear that stick crack. And
I mean, it definitely could be, because my therapist even told me that ADHD is actually a boon to survivability. Like when you're in a high stress situation, it allows you to focus on what's important a lot better than the average person.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that in moments of like, let's say there's a car crash and there are a bunch of people that are just like screaming and freaking out, do you think that it's the person with ADHD who's going to jump forward and take all the right steps to make sure that everyone is safe and out of the vehicle and away?
I don't know about that. I think that's quite the assumption, but I would say someone who has like legit ADHD would probably be a little bit more focused or a little bit more calm than someone else in the same situation.
Yeah.
But notice how, because you're making the evolutionary argument, notice how most like, what is it, 80-90% of people that have ADHD are men. Like,
right.
There's not a lot of women that do.
I feel like I know a few, but
chat's going crazy today. I met philosopher who doesn't have TISM. The diagnosis are so high with it right now. They're estimating that 60% of the population are on the spectrum to some degree. Gilbert Ryle is his name, a critic of Desicrates. Heading out, Joey, I nominate you as the Jamie for a bit. Oh, there you go, Joey. You've been nominated as the Jamie. I have 15 people watching, and it's not updating on Rumble. Let me refresh. Rant about something. Fuck you, TJ.
No, I mean, I'll rant more about ADHD. I mentioned as soon as we started the segment that I think that it's kind of a superpower, and you get the people who have ADHD that are able to create some of the most incredible, I don't know, like Elon, he's on the spectrum somewhere. He's got to have ADHD, and he's taken us to Mars. He's, put satellites for internet into space. Like the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are usually the ones who have ADHD.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far to say that, but ADHD could be,
quote, right?
Huh?
You know the quote, right? Those who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are usually the ones who do.
Oh yeah.
I just changed it up for the sake of the topic.
Oh, okay. But anyway, to end off that one, guys, Rumble Studio is giving me the business. I have 15 beautiful bastards watching me today, and it's only telling me I have 5. That's crazy.
It's annoying.
But let's see. D-Crates, French philosopher. Okay. I don't have ADHD, but I'll take your Adderall. Well, shitty gov. That's the thing though, is I've never been medicated for it. I didn't want medication because I had always seen all the like different stories and like the shows that make jokes about it. I was like, I do not want to become some like slug that is like a shadow of his former self because he wants to take meds for ADHD. I rather struggle to read a fucking book while people are talking than figure out what I am with on medication.
I feel like Adderall in proper doses for someone with ADHD, like, doesn't it increase the ability to focus on like the task at hand? Like
it can, yeah.
Like how much have you procrastinated through, and how much your bed's not even made? Like if you were on Adderall,
no, it's made. It's just the blanket's
okay.
The blanket's just thrown to the side. Like it's made. Fuck you.
But like I don't know. I'm not diagnosed, but I feel like one in the chat. If you think I probably fucking got it, you guys know me well enough.
You got the TISM. You don't have ADHD.
But I always wonder like how much different my life would be if I were to have been medicated for it, and if I wouldn't have had to struggle through all of these mundane tasks of adulthood that I oftentimes am slacking on simply because I cannot just like hyperfixate on it. Like I got a pile of dishes that I gotta do after this, and it's gonna take me 3 hours to do them just because I'm gonna start them and then step away to do something and then have to come back to them.
Then people would just call you lazy though. But so Chicken Captain says, yes, it's a superpower, but not in the way you are mentioning. It's a superpower in that you can coerce others to give you special treatment. All people want to be treated special. I mean, yeah, sure. All people want to be treated special, but I'm telling you, man, like if I want, like when I was in school and I wanted to read something, I had to go to another place to go and read, or I needed something to cover my ears. I can't read if people are talking. I've gotten better at it, but when I was in school, it was fucking terrible.
I'm from small town Oregon, so I can't read in general. So at least
Oh yeah, well there you go. Yeah, I mean you kind of feel like a backwater hillbilly, so it makes no.
Yeah, basically.
You're the hillbilly from Oregon, or
Yes, sir.
there you go.
Still got all my teeth though. Fuck off.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I want to get your reaction to this video. This is not politics related. This is just a video about tipping culture. So I don't know how you feel about tipping. I feel like tipping's gotten pretty crazy. But we have this from a popular streamer, Asmongold. And I kind of like his take, but let's get your thoughts on it. So I think he's playing a game or something, and it says leave a tip, not optional, and it says $16.50, and then it says it's rude not to. And then the options for the mandatory tip are 30%, 35%, and 50%. And here's his take on tipping culture. You ready?
Yep.
Holy shit! Yeah, damn. Yeah, just do a custom. So what you do in a situation like this, by the way, is you just do a custom tip and you make it 0. This is something they do at Torchy's Tacos here in Austin, and that's how you do it. I mean, for me, yeah, you custom and then go to 0. Now, obviously not optional. Apparently, it clearly is. And so, anyway, this is something that happens a lot. I feel like custom tip equals 0. Yeah, if I don't sit down and get shit handed to me and I'm not tipping, I have no problem tipping people now because I have a lot of money. But like before that, I never tipped in general, even if I was being waited on or anything like that. I think the fact is, like, somebody bringing me my food, like I've said this 100 times, so I don't want to like get into it too much. But like, I would much rather tip the chef and like the cook that made my food than the waiter that brings it to me. It's like stolen valor almost, right? I mean, you're the one.
It's a good point.
Like, you've got a guy that's like making the food. He's sitting in there in this fucking kitchen, sweating his fucking ass off, dealing with this, and then it's apparently now it's somebody else that you've got to do it with. Fuck that. It's hot, bro. Yeah, it's hot. And like, you're giving the money just to some cute waitress. I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, I don't care. And so I just want to have good food. And so that's who I'd want to reward, right? The majority of places pay the cooks way more. Yeah, and I think that honestly, like, you think about it, which would be easier to replace, a waiter or a what do you call it, a cook? I think a waiter, definitely, because I mean, again, they already kind of have replaced waiters, because if you order the food yourself online, nobody had to take your order. So they've already done it in a way. So that's the way I see it.
So what are your thoughts on this? Because my thoughts on all the tipping culture is, yeah, of course it's gone way too far. If I go, I mean, there's places you can go to where you basically do everything yourself. You go pick out everything yourself. You go and check out, scan everything yourself, pay all by yourself, and then it'll still ask for a fucking tip.
Right.
And it's like, tip for what? What did the store do for me besides provide the product that it's supposed to provide?
Right. So yeah, a couple of different avenues here. One, I don't think that tipping should be necessary, because I think that it should be baked into the person's pay in general. Like, I don't know why the tipping culture. I don't know why people are able to get away with, paying someone less money because their tips end up, bringing them to whatever, like, minimum wages or.
Well, it's not even right? It's not even that. In California, they still have to abide by the minimum wage, so they're getting a minimum wage on top of their tips.
Sure.
Or the tips are on top of their minimum wage. So it's not even like, because I know there are some states where it is like that, where they get paid like a ridiculously small amount. But even in California, they still expect you to tip something like 25, 30%. And it's like, what did you do? You brought me the food.
Yeah, so I also think that, like, tipping should be optional, and it's no longer seen as a showing of gratitude for whatever effort and level of service that was put in, and it's now, it's now just a way to, like, you get a show that your food costs less, and then it's like a hidden fee, basically.
It's a hidden fee, and then there's places, I don't know if it's other states, but in California there are some restaurants, they'll put the percentage at the bottom of, like, oh, be sure to tip your waitress, and then it'll give you the percentages. Like, oh, if you want to tip 20%, here's the amount. If you want to tip 25%, here's the amount. It'll give you like suggested amounts. I was looking at that shit. I forget what the numbers were, but I'm good at math. So I was looking at our total, and then I was looking at the 20% tip section, and I was like, that is about $3 more than what the 20% would have been.
I feel like there's a level of fraud in providing that incorrect calculation. Like
yeah,
that. Interesting.
Like that's a little bit of a side point, but there's restaurants that do that now. So like if you're not good at math, you might want to whip out a calculator just to double check, because there are restaurants that'll be like, hey, let's get a couple dollars out of this person because they think they're tipping 20% when they're tipping like 23-25%.
Yeah, like I try to tip whenever there's a a tipping.
If someone's actually providing good service and they actually like did something, like when someone delivers me food, I make sure to tip them well, because there's more work into that.
Yeah, if I order a pizza and I get it delivered, like they got the gas money, they got the time that they're spending driving all the way out here, like
got to deal with shitty drivers.
Yeah. Well, small town, like there's relatively.
Well, for me, yeah, but I get what he's saying in the video, where it's like it is a little bit like stolen valor. Like this dude or chick walks like 20 feet and hands you the food after picking it up off out of the kitchen, and they didn't put any work to make the food. They just take it to you.
Yeah, but they also have to deal with the public, and dealing with people fucking sucks.
It can, like taking orders and stuff like that, but it's harder than dealing with people is making good food consistently.
Yeah, but I also think that a lot of places tip out the chefs a percentage of
like a tip share. Yeah, they do a bit of tip share.
Yeah, and so maybe it's not enough because of the level of work that the chef is actually doing, but there are efforts made to make sure that chefs get tipped out. But
I have a pizza place up the block, and they take 50 minutes sometimes to deliver. No good tip for that. Joey, when you say up the block, like how far of a walk? Are we talking about a 5-minute walk? Are we talking about a 15-minute walk?
Look, what did the Ninja Turtles say? Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Well, so like he's complaining about 50 minutes for delivery, but I think we need more context to that, because he might just be. I'm not saying he's exaggerating, but he may not be taking into account the labor involved. You know what I mean? Like, what if they're making you that pizza fucking fresh, my guy? Or like, what if it's like a 10-15 minute walk? They got to prepare the pizza, then they've got to walk, then they've got to walk back to the pizza place. So they're timing all that in their head,
So I know that when I order a pizza from my local.
Oh, he said 2-minute walk. So yeah, there's no excuse for that one, I guess. There should be no more than 30 minutes.
I mean, I know that the average time that I get told when I order a pizza from my local pizza shop, they say you should have it out to you in about 45 minutes. And I don't blame them for that. I just know that when I want a pizza, I need to call 45 minutes before I actually want to eat. You know what I mean?
Pizza,
like,
yeah.
As long as you know that that's how long it takes. Now, if they're used to getting it out to you in 20 minutes and it takes an hour, then yeah, there's a level of complaint that would be warranted. But to just, they aren't McDonald's. Like, you have to, they have to cook everything, and I don't know.
But yeah, no. So as far as tipping culture goes, obviously, if I have the money, which I don't right now, I would love to tip people these like fat tips. Damn, we got a bunch of people watching, and Rumble's not showing it all to me. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping in.
What's up, guys?
But what's called? I think there's like a degree of service that needs to be achieved for me to like actually want to tip someone. If like there's zero service, I'm not tipping. If all you're doing is taking my order, like I don't think you deserve a tip for that either. Like if I walk to a counter and then like you're on the other side of the counter and that's just where you are all day and that's your job is taking my order, I'm not giving you a fucking tip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's think of the average dining experience, right? You go in, you want a couple minutes to review the menu or whatever. So maybe a quick check-in before you're ready. That adds some service points, right? Okay, well, I'll come back here in a few minutes because you guys aren't quite ready yet. Or can I start you off with some drinks, right? That's, giving you some extra time. Then taking once you actually find out what you want, being served fairly quickly so you're not waiting a long time. and then you don't want to be waiting forever for your food to actually get there. Then once you get it, you probably want hey, can I top off your drinks, or do you guys need anything else? You probably need some sort of sauce that you forgot to ask for when you ordered. Making sure that they're prompt in getting you the sauce that you asked for, because there's been multiple times where someone asks for something and then they're like, yeah, I'll get that for you. And then they walk off and it's been 10 minutes and then you have to flag them down and ask them again. Well, that deducts points from the quality of service. And so, there are the small little things, the consistent attention that I think.
But it's not that hard if you're just walking around doing it, though. Like, if your only job is to make sure tables are satisfied, it's honestly not that hard a job.
And what I'm saying is that there are a lot of people who don't put in that minimal effort to make sure that the table is satisfied. And I would say that those people who just get your order and just bring you the check are probably undeserving as a tip. But if they're doing all of these,
well, yeah, so they would be undeserving of a tip. But if someone's coming to the table, there's just a line between that. But we got to move to other stories.
That's fair.
It depends. It depends on how much work they're putting in, whether or not they deserve a tip. Is what I think.
But I always like to try to. That's kind of my stance.
Yeah, but if you have the money to tip, then of course do it. Like Asmongold's saying here, because he's a big time streamer. He's got money. If I had money, I'd be dropping fat tips on people. Tim says he does that too. Yeah. If you're wealthy, I mean, it makes sense.
Last point on the matter. Please leave a tip not optional is unacceptable. I don't think companies.
Yeah, not optional is ridiculous.
Yep, I don't.
You need to that needs to be a disclaimer, like at the front fucking door, or something. Like, keep in mind, whatever you buy, there's a 30% surcharge for tip.
Well, there's also gratuity charges that they put on, which is automatically a forced tip.
Yeah. So
and then they ask for a tip on top of it. So
yeah, just fuck all of that is what I think. Okay. Moving on to video games, because I wanted to talk about video games. So what was it? 2-3 years ago, I actually got blocked by the Bungie account, like the actual game company Bungie.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and you want to know how I did it? I told them that saying Latinx with an X at the end of it was offensive, and they shouldn't say it, and they blocked me. And they blocked me over it. I'm not joking. Bungie has blocked you.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, right there. It says it right there, guys. Bungie has blocked me. The official Bungie. I can't fucking talk.
Henceforth referred to as Bungie.
So Bungie blocked me a while ago. But why am I bringing up Bungie? Because Bungie is woke as fuck, and people know that. They've known that for a while. But here's their stupid ass. Dude, this game looks like shit. You guys, I don't, honestly, at this point, I don't care them on YouTube. Rumble's where it's at, so I'm just going to cuss a bunch. We're deep enough in. That's what she said. But no, so they're coming out with a new game. This game looks like absolute fucking horseshit. Everyone was complaining about Avowed. No, dude, this game needs to fail harder than fucking Snow White. Let me find the clip for this. Where is it? This one. Look how dog shit this game looks. Like I might need to replay this clip tomorrow for Melted.
Sure.
All right, let's see it.
So,
holy shit!
Just real quick, I was a Halo kid. Like one of my first.
I played the fuck out of Bungie.
Was Halo 2.
I've played all the Halos. Halo 1 all the way to Reach, ODST. I stopped after. I didn't really play 4 and 5. I couldn't get into it.
I lucked out because I had just gotten a new dog and he chewed up number 4, and so I wasn't cursed with having to play 4.
I was gonna say thank him for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did play some 5, and 5 really felt like Halo 2, Halo 3 to me, even though for a lot of people it didn't. I played a little bit of Infinite, but by that point I just didn't have the time to invest in getting good. But so I do have, I guess a lot of the later stuff is 343. But I also played a bunch of Destiny 1 and 2. Was pretty good at it. It did end up feeling repetitive at some point. But
I was fine with the repetition because, I mean, all games eventually get down to a repetition like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Joey's tagging me on his Discord.
I'm saying that I have a little bit of bias, but
so look at this. Let's watch this game though, because it's a 5-minute clip. The game looks like fuck it. This is not a game that should be coming out in 2025, and this is not a game that should be coming out from a legendary company like Bungie. Right. It's really sad to see how far they've fallen. Especially with all the microtransactions and the shitty way they've been handling Destiny 2 over the past couple years. It just really fucking sucks.
Let's see.
And this is the next game they're going to be putting out. Let's see it. For the record, it's called Marathon, and it's a 3-player squad game. It's purely PvP, and it's an extraction style game.
Wait, it's purely PvP?
It's only PvP.
Interesting.
So you go in, and there's other squads there. I think it's PvP. It might be PvP VE, so like there's some AI.
That's what I was saying.
But there are PvP elements. And the goal is you go in, you have like whatever gear you want to bring with you. If you die during the mission, you lose all your gear and you don't get it back. But if you complete the mission and you live, you get whatever you find, and you can steal other people's gear when you kill them. This is not a new.
You bring that into the next mission, so you're up.
Yeah, you can bring it into the next mission. This is not a new concept. There's a lot of games like this. One of the ones that I've played before is called Vigor. Same concept. This is not a new concept. Nothing new. Bungie's not doing anything new with this idea. But look at how shitty the gameplay looks.
So real quick, I think I heard that Marathon was one of Bungie's first games even before Halo. And this is like them trying to remake their old game or something like that.
I hadn't heard that, but they've had this in the works for a while now, and it's just
Okay.
I just gotta show you guys.
Yep, let's play it.
That gun is literally from Destiny. Those character models walk like shit.
Marathon.
The graphics don't look good. The maps look like they're in fucking paintball arenas.
Extraction shooter set around
the armor
a
looks like
mysterious
shit.
and cutthroat world.
It's like weird, bulky chunks of metal.
You are a runner, a cybernetic mercenary.
I get this is like a concept.
For a biosynthetic shell.
It's a bit of a concept like video, but still the graphics look
capable
like shit.
of both tactical and fast-paced combat.
Everything is flat. Way too much
Here
color.
You're fighting a crew of up to 3 players.
It's very
across a
cartoony.
variety of zones.
Very
and points
cartoony.
of
It looks like
interest.
it doesn't look like an actual combat zone. It looks like a
in zones of up to
like a
18
VR
players,
game they set up.
Countless security forces.
My thoughts is that if this was,
It looks like Destiny. The way the guns are firing.
Like look
for
at
glory and fortune.
I don't know. My logic is
The
that
environments of
if this was
Tau
out for, like
64
meta,
are filled
for, like,
with
virtual
weapons,
reality.
materials, and
Wait, and then the
equipment
way
you
they're
can
picking up stuff is kind of like
throughout
Left
the
4
map.
Dead.
Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to
It looks
ensure you're
like
equipped for the run
Destiny
ahead.
guns. Yeah, they
Your
look like guns
objective
from
is
Destiny.
simple. Get in.
This also
gather
kind of
as
feels like
much loot as
Apex.
you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive,
Gotta love those
and your
fans.
loot can be taken into
Right outside
future
the
runs
door.
as you grow in power and fill your vault. Death is inevitable, but it's never the end. Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents, and in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top.
Why is it so slow? Why is everyone
and even
moving
if you're
so
down on your
slow?
luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight.
Even the running is not fast.
Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront.
Yeah, it seems
Dynamic
like they
and
try to take
tactile
like
gunplay,
Crucible
runners with unique
type
playstyles,
combat from
and
Destiny.
customizable builds
and add it
create
to this
highly
game.
dynamic and strategic.
I don't know. It looks super weird. But we also have this article relating to this.
So quick initial thoughts. I feel like a lot of the environment, aside from buildings, looks phenomenal. The trees, the grass, like all of that looks like hyper realism almost. But then when you look at the buildings, it looks like the inflatable buildings that you'd see at a paintball course. I like your phrasing of that. And so there's a level of, it lacks immersion. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to feel like you're actually in this world. It's going to feel fake the entire time.
Well, yeah, like Helldivers, they do pretty well for immersion, even for a third-person game. But for a first-person game like this, like there's way too much color. It makes me feel like I'm in a paintball arena. The gameplay seems clunky, like it's very heavy. You don't move very fast. The way you pick up items everything's slow. Everything seems slow, and they're trying to project it as quick, like fast-paced combat, and it doesn't come off as fast-paced combat. It comes off as clunky, strategic. Which like I don't know what kind of game style they're going for. They're going for like battle royale, Crucible from Destiny, Extract. Like I don't know what they're trying to be. I don't know what this game is trying to be.
Yeah, and so last night I did watch Asmongold's like it's like an hour long breakdown of the 3 different trailers, him giving his thoughts as well, and I don't know. I try to be optimistic in things. I try to find the good side of something, right? So I want to, give them a little bit of leeway because this is a gameplay style that I feel like not a lot of people are used to. This whole extraction shooter, right? Like I don't know.
Well, like there's games like
before.
There's games like Escape from Tarkov too is pretty popular. So they could be trying to like get like from that community. But Escape from Tarkov is like hyper realistic combat. Like it's not futuristic shit like this at all.
Right. Like, and if that's the standard for this type of a game, you need to have put in more effort into, creating a better game than what they already have. You know what I mean? And
yeah, if it'd be one thing if they were making like a whole new genre, but they're not. They're playing off a couple other genres and then adding elements of games they've already created. It just seems lazy as fuck. And then look at this, like you have all this woke shit, which I mean, at the start of the story, I brought up how Bungie blocked me because I brought up how they shouldn't say shit like Latinx. Right. Now we have this story from Yahoo Tech. So this is actually from PC Gamer. Marathon won't have proximity chat in its new game Marathon, because it'd be way too toxic. I don't think anyone has a good solution to that just yet. So they're not going to have game chat where you can talk shit to the enemy team.
That's trash. That's bullshit. Like I say all the time, the Halo 2 post-game lobbies was where boys became men. Like the amount of times.
Well, like you have the new Black Ops, they monitor your speech. You say certain words, their little AI will flag it, and you'll get banned from the lobby.
Right, and I'm not 100% opposed to that technology.
Should be optional.
But I mean, I think that like freedom of speech laws, like as long as you aren't, actually committing some sort of crime, like doxing someone or calling for legitimate threats of violence or something like that, like let the chat go. You know what I mean?
That's how I just said, like, make it optional. Like, if people don't want to tune into game chat from the enemy team, make it to where they could turn it off.
Yeah, and like that's what the mute button is there for. You know what I mean?
That's why this is not attached to my head. I can just, and now I can't hear TJ. TJ's a piece of shit, and he can't say nothing to me. So.
Look at this bump. Look at this bump.
I don't know what you're saying, TJ.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear you one bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just really sad to see the state of games that we have today. Really sad. But you should come and watch me play Helldivers, because Helldivers is one of the few games that came out somewhat recently that is still pretty good.
You're gonna have to do a RuneScape stream with me.
RuneScape. I don't even know what RuneScape is.
Yeah.
I wasn't joking.
All right, that's fair. You're lost.
I've heard of it, but I always thought RuneScape and World of Warcraft are the same thing.
Yeah, well, they got similarities. But anyway, I want to see how this game actually feels when actually playing it, because we can talk all this shit about the weirdness of it, like the characters looking super weird, like the dude with the pale face and the mask over him.
That was a chick.
You know what? Like, did you just assume their gender, or did I? I don't know. Either way, so what? All the characters in the trailers were chicks?
No.
Is it an only female cast? I don't know. Either way, all I'm trying to say is that like there are a lot of sort of off-putting aspects of it, but I think the feel of gameplay outweighs everything else. Like, I would much rather play a game that has really shitty graphics if the gameplay is top notch and has a very fun feel to it. And so, give me a demo, give me a free demo, and if I like it, I'll buy it. But
Shitty Gov has a great point. Just don't buy their games. Play old gas that don't suck. I'm assuming you mean games, old games.
Yeah.
Lots of chats. Melted pinning that message. Hey, bro, Split Fiction tomorrow. Yeah, we're doing Split Fiction tomorrow. If you want to come on and be a guest tomorrow, you can too if you're available. TJ will be busy tomorrow. He'll rejoin us on Wednesday. Keep finding myself going back to simpler games anyway. Games these days try to do everything instead of just being fun. Sorry, TJ, there's a lot.
You're good. You're good.
Both MMO. Did you mean in my opinion? Oh, they're both MMOs is what you're talking about. Are we talking Marathon? Yeah, we were just talking about Marathon. The trailer looked cheap and a lot of AI was for sure used in the making. You work, unfortunately. That's fine. We could still play Split Fiction later. But yeah, no, the game Marathon just looks like absolute trash. That was the whole point of bringing it up, because like it's just really sad to see how far such a great company has fallen. But we do have other stories I want to get into. TJ, final thoughts on that?
I want a demo, and I'll judge it based on the gameplay and not necessarily the overall look and promotion of it. But I'm not fully convinced.
Okay, so there are some other stories I have pulled up, but I want to get into the main stories that I have in the tags and the thumbnail, of course. So let's talk about we're going to talk about the arson attack, because I feel like we can go through this real quick. Arson attack on Governor Shapiro's residence. Let's see. I had an article for this. Yeah, okay, article from the Post Millennial. Governor Josh Shapiro and his family were alerted by the Pennsylvania State Police after an arson attack on the governor's residence in Harrisburg around 2 a.m. The Harrisburg Fire Department managed to extinguish the fire. The suspect, identified as Cody Balmer, was arrested. This incident has sparked conversation about political violence and safety of public officials during these significant cultural celebrations. There's a lot of people on the left calling him a right-winger, obviously, because he attacked a Democrat. But the reality of the situation is that this guy seems to be like a incredibly far leftist. He was like an insane lefty. Registered socialist, in fact, is what the title of the Post Millennial says.
Oh, no, but he's far right.
But he's far right. So he's a registered socialist that is far right, apparently. So a registered socialist, BLM supporter, Cody Balmer, charged with arson of PA governor's mansion. The man with whom authorities have said set the fire, he at 2 a.m. has said he is registered as socialist and has shared support from the Black Lives Matter movement. Cody Balmer, 38, has been arrested and charged with terrorism, attempted murder, and aggravated arson after Shapiro's home was torched with his family slept over the weekend. While his family slept over the weekend. The Associated Press, or per the Associated Press, I can't talk today, man. My stomach's starting to hurt too. I might have to. Fuck. We got 10 minutes. I'll try to rough it. In a Facebook comment, he also stated that he was a registered socialist when talking to another social media user from 4 years ago. So let's see. Do we have the comment here?
So what would motive be? Isn't Shapiro? Isn't he?
Wait here. Cody Balmer. I'm a registered socialist. So I've gotten about 27 mail-in ballots. I got to vote for everyone twice and vote none of the above in person. Plus casting a vote for my favorite cartoonist. What? Cody Balmer, do you realize the country just pulled $6.2 trillion out of its ass without blinking, but said we'd go broke providing health care as a right? Stop being Democratic or Republican. Oof. Left, it's all the Republicans' fault. Right, it's all the Democrats' fault. Forward, it's all of our fault for electing politicians whom would rather argue with each other than work together to solve the problems we're facing. Yeah, that seems like a far lefty who got sick of his own governor.
Yep. And isn't Shapiro a Jewish man?
Yeah, he's a Jewish guy.
Yeah, isn't that why he wasn't selected to be Kamala's VP?
No, that's just legit. That's just conspiracy theories. What I think is that he knew she was going to lose, and he did not want to tie her name to it.
I mean, completely fair. But it seems like this far lefty was probably just going and finding a way to, I don't know, attack a Jewish man. Like, I feel like you could consider a level of motive in that, because like, why would a far lefty try and burn down a Democrat's house unless there's.
So I think there's more in this article. Let's see. He was also like a staunch supporter of like mask mandates and shit. So let's see.
So he talks about how the right and the left are terrible, and then marches in lockstep with totalitarian rule.
Ballmer insinuated that he had a plan to beat Shapiro with a hammer if he saw him in the home. Court documents that were released on Monday. Ballmer admitted to harboring hatred towards Governor Shapiro. So yeah, this guy, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Although Ballmer posted in support of BLM, mocked Christians, and identified himself as a socialist, he was critical of Democrats as well as Republicans. In 2019, he shared a post that said, "Stop being Democratic or Republican," and a photo posted on his profile that said, "Joe Biden owes me $2,000." He also appeared to be a fan of Andrew Yang, who ran as a Democrat in the 2020 presidential election, but has tried to gather support for the centrist Forward Party. So yeah, it seems like he's just got a bunch of like far left posts. People are still going through it, but they have found some crazy stuff relating to that guy. So
when your government manipulates and propagandizes the population to such an extreme degree, you will have outliers whose brains become completely melted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then let's get into the next story, because there's not much to add on that. The governor is safe, his family's safe, no one was harmed, and the guy is arrested. So, wait, what is this? Oh, why did that? Okay, I don't know why that got pulled up. I was looking for this one. So everyone's complaining because Karmelo Anthony, the guy or the teenager, 17-year-old that stabbed Austin Metcalf. He just had his bond reduced from $1 million down to $250,000, and a bunch of people are very upset about it. I looked up what the average bond is for first-degree murder, and it is around $1 million. So the initial amount was the average amount, and then they reduced it to only a quarter of that. And even then, you don't have to pay the full bond amount. I think it's like what? It's like certain states it's different, but it's like 10 or 20%.
Yeah.
So it's not even that he had to pay the full 10 or the full $1 million anyway. Plus he's already gotten like $500,000 in donations. So he's gonna he will be freed for the time being. As far as I'm aware, I've talked about this story with some people. There's information I've been told that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share or not. But as far as I'm concerned, I still need more information on this story. From what I've heard, it does seem like this is completely on Karmelo Anthony. But I would like to see if there's camera footage of this. I would like to see any of that. I need more witness accounts. I need to see more before I make a decision on this. Because if it does turn out that he actually legit was defending himself for whatever reason, then obviously I want to defend his right to defend himself. But it comes out if he was literally just looking there, he went there to start shit. Because that is kind of what it seems like right now. Because he wasn't even supposed to be in those stands. He could have sat in the 3 other stands that were there. Like just from the stuff that I've seen, it does lean towards this guy just wanted to start some shit. But only time will tell. I don't want to make a definitive statement. Hurry, Joey! Tyler is going to shit himself. No, I'm fine, Melted.
So my initial thoughts are kind of like right there aligned with yours. It pisses me off so bad when something like this happens and everybody with the extremely limited information instantly comes out and either condemns or praises this person or that person. Like, I just hate that people are willing to get so heated and so defensive and so aggressive when they don't actually even know what happened. And
bro, I'm like Joe Rogan in the sense that if I don't know something, I'm just gonna fucking say I don't know it.
Right.
Like there's no reason for me to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I've totally heard of that. Oh yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. No. If I don't know something, or if I'm not sure like what my opinion is on something, I'm just gonna say it. But if I have an opinion, of course I'm gonna share it, because I think that as I would hope for most people, I think my opinions are true and correct. So that's when I share my opinions. But if my opinions are proven to be wrong, then I change my opinion. That's how most people should act. But if I don't know something for sure, I will say that. That's how it should be, and that's the standard I always want to be held to.
Good.
Clip that chat, Tyler. I'm like Joe Rogan. I am like Joe Rogan. I am the next Joe Rogan, guys. Next thing you know, you're gonna be hearing about Tyler Rittenauer. Be like, oh, you guys listen to that Tyler Rittenauer
$100 million
podcast?
Spotify deal.
I got a $10 million Spotify deal. That guy's fucking cool, guys.
So
all he does is talk about the news, and he spits facts and reality, and he's pretty based. He likes to be a cool guy, you know. Haha, my ass. What about your ass, Melted?
It's funny.
Take up more than the screen, I would assume. So I don't.
Well, what I was trying to say in I think it was one of the Discord calls a while back or a week or so ago was that I think that when something like this happens, it can be used as an opportunity to discuss the concepts behind it. Like,
wait. So I just want to point out, because I've had this on the screen for a moment, and I don't want people to look at the video and be reading our background and me not address this. This is fucking retarded that people are making this a race issue. None of this should have anything to do with race. I don't know why race is being mentioned at all. Like, you have this fucking idiot who's a meme account on X. This is the judge who slashed Carmelo Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250K. Need I say more? The implication being, oh, look, she's black. Of course, she's gonna side with the black kid. So guys, just shut the fuck up. Why do you have to make it a race thing? It's
because
very stupid.
Race is an easy way to divide people, and the people who are trying to pull the strings of the population don't want a united citizenry.
It's fucking stupid.
It's a common.
But you were gonna say go ahead and go off, because I need to focus on getting things ready for Joey and not shitting myself.
So yeah, I think that when a circumstance like this happens, and we are sitting here waiting for all of the facts, it is an opportunity to discuss the concepts surrounding things almost in a hypothetical sense, rather than trying to make definitive statements about the story that we have next to no information on, such as should someone be able to bring like what should be the charge for someone bringing a weapon into a weapon-free zone or something like that. Should someone be able to use antagonistic words to get a response of aggression to then claim self-defense? Like, these concepts can be discussed, like the morality of it, the legality of it can be discussed in a general sense, because it has some relevancy to the case, but we aren't making a final judgment on the actual sort of
Look,
thing.
man, we're just asking questions, all right? We're just asking questions here. We're not making any definitive statements. We're just asking the questions. The questions need to be asked.
Like, can you have an opinion on it if you haven't actually been?
Look at that cat. Look at that cat. That cat's just asking questions.
Dude.
Also, I do have a clip that we didn't play. We'll next time you're on Wednesday, we'll talk about the Dave Smith stuff. We'll wait. I'll bring that up on Wednesday. All right. I did watch that whole thing. And Dave Smith and Douglas Murray.
Yeah.
Which I saw a tweet from it was someone tweeted one of Donald Trump's Truth Social posts, and they was talking about Douglas Murray, and it was from Phil Labonte. He's like, oh no. And I was like, what's wrong with Trump promoting Douglas Murray? And it's like, oh, it's because he got fucking destroyed in an Israel-Palestine debate.
Was it an old post of his, or was it?
No, it was recent, very recent.
It's response to the debate?
Yeah, it came out after the podcast.
Tell me he's not taking the wrong side on this one.
No, he made a post saying that my good friend Douglas Murray put out a book, and he's telling people to go buy his book.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, anyway. So closing thoughts, final thoughts. I'm going to close out the show so I can use the restroom and send everybody to Joey.
No real final thoughts. It was fun digging into these few articles. Yeah. Bungie,
I'm sorry it was a little bit of a shorter show today, guys. As you can tell, I'm not feeling well. I'm rushing through my words, can't talk, and I'm about to go blow up the bathroom for like the 5th time today. So
what a sign off.
What a sign off. So That's how I sign off the show today, guys. But you know what? You guys can go blow up. You can go blow up the chat in Joey's stream. I'm sending you guys over there now. What a transition. Goodbye, guys. And goodbye, TJ. Thanks for being on.
See you, man.
Peace out, everyone. Cue the outro. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. If you thought that was a great video, great live stream, great whatever you were watching, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you're watching, hit that follow, subscribe, and if you really want to support me, you could always share the video and comment down below. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Thank you, and peace out.